Lauza and Kuchka, with Sarr, Dennis and João Pedro as the attacking three for Brentford. Well, it's a very warm welcome and thank you for joining us on this independent off-tube studio commentary. The game has just got underway at Vicarage Road. It's Watford taking on Brentford, 19th against 13th. And Roy Hodgson's Watford, well, they're not quite in the last chance saloon yet, but they're getting close to it, really. Start the day 6 points adrift of safety with just 7 games to go, including this one. So you get the feeling that they really do have to get a win today to just kickstart that end of the season and give themselves a decent chance of staying up against the Brentford side who've just beaten London opposition in their last 2 games, away at Chelsea and at home to West Ham. So Thomas Frank's side in a much healthier position now. They'll pretty much think that they are safe, just need maybe one more win. In fact, 4 points to get to that magic 40, but you'd imagine that they're in a pretty strong position as it stands. It's myself, Paul Szczerbakowicz and Harry Jones taking you through the action. Harry, it's a lovely sunny day at Vicarage Road, but it's dark times for Watford, really, if they can't get a win today.
Yeah, it's beautiful conditions out today, so I think both sides won't have any complaints with the pitch or the weather, but yeah, I think it's looking crunch time now for Roy Hodgson's side. I think really got to start picking up the results if they want any chance of safety, but I think at this point of the season it's not looking good for them.
No, it's not, Senza. Watford trying to get forward here straight away, although there's going to be a free kick given. I think it looks like Ivan Toney, just as he was trying to win the ball back there for Brentford, gets brought down. Looks like it was Samir with the challenge. So in fact it was Lauza with the challenge there, but it's going to be a free kick to Brentford around 35 yards out. This is one of 3 games kicking off in the Premier League at 3 o'clock. Manchester United against Norwich City and Southampton against Arsenal are the other 2 games. Those are also available on our service. In the earlier game today, a bit of a surprise as Tottenham go down 1-0 at home to Brighton with a late goal there from Leandro Trossard. He scored a few of them already this season in the dying minutes. Good chance here now, though, for Brentford from this set piece. Watford trying to set up with the edge of the area in terms of their offside line. And it's no surprise to see Christian Eriksen standing over this one. He just rolls it short. Not quite sure that's what he intended to do there to Rico Henry. But it is Henry now over on the right-hand side. Lifts across into the box. That's a bit of a wasted free kick in the end. Yeah,
I think it was quite poor decision-making there. It's not really too often we say that about Christian Eriksen, is it? But he looked like he wanted to go short, but he sent it sort of in between Rico Henry and the winger who was out wide looking to receive the ball. So he put him in a dark spot, and then in the end, Henry tried to recover and send the ball back into the area, but it was poor and it was easy for Foster to deal with.
Yeah, far too close to the goalkeeper in the end, and certainly a bit of pressure on Christian Eriksen. Brentford have won all 4 games that he started in. We'll be looking to make that 5 out of 5 today. Of course, the rumour mill already developing ideas that perhaps Eriksen might be on the wish list of some even bigger clubs in the Premier League. We'll have to wait and see how that pans out. I think once Brentford know that they're mathematically safe, they should do everything really to make sure that they extend his contract, which is only until the end of the season. Meanwhile, at the other end, Watford have won themselves a throw, and they've got close to the edge of the area. Ball goes towards João Pedro. Just been marked there by Ethan Pinnock, out for another throw to Watford down the right-hand side. Kiko Femenia waiting to restart play. Yeah, he's had faith in João Pedro since he took over Roy Hodgson. I've got to say that by and large, I'm not sure that faith has been repaid. The Brazilian, plenty of running, but just hasn't really been able to get the goals. As Sissoko now trying to win his side a corner, but actually deflects off the French international and out for a throw to Brentford.
Yeah, it's Watford are trying to pen Brentford in the corner. They're doing well so far. They're not really giving the Bees much time on the ball, but like you were saying, I think João Pedro, I think he really has to improve his return in terms of goal contributions to really warrant his move to Watford. And he's been given the faith, like you said, by Hodgson, but he's shown some good performances as of late. Him and Cuco Hernandez, who are both sort of switched in and out of that striker role, but obviously with Hernandez's injury that he suffered last time out against Leeds, gives Pedro the spot to really make it his own.
Absolutely. Well, he's had 10 starts and 12 appearances off the bench, just 2 goals for those 22 Premier League appearances. Not really enough there from João Pedro. Manuel Dennis had an excellent start to the season, but he's been preferred in a slightly wider role now. He sort of plays over on the left with Ismaili Assar down the right. Just a bit of a break in play there as Ivan Toney just has to correct his laces there for coming back on the field. We've had 4.5 minutes in this game. It is goalless in the other 2 Premier League games. Long ball now sent towards the edge of the Watford penalty. Cabaselli heads it away, but it's played back over towards the right-hand side now. And Bumo trying to keep it in play, but that's good work there from Dennis Nigeria international tracking back to the edge of his own box, plays it square to Kuchka, and now Hassane Kamara with a long clearance up to the halfway line. Pinnock doing well there. He's taking a bit of a chance. He had 2 Watford players behind him, but he just about holds them off and rolls it back to Raya, who clears it long down the left-hand side. Kept in play there by Tony. Now Visser just goes behind the advancing Vitaly Janelt, and it is going to be with Kamara now down the left here for Watford, up towards the halfway line. But nobody in a black and yellow shirt there. Brentford in their all-white third kit today. I suppose they could have, in theory, played in their home shirt, really. But their away shirt being all yellow, of course, it certainly would have clashed. So they're in their white strip today, the Bees. As Ajer now back towards Pontus Jansson. And Raya now looks up. Doesn't want to play it long, though. But certainly from Watford's point of view, they've certainly under Roy Hodgson, they've shown signs of some sort of improvement in terms of their organisation, but then we look at their form in the last 5 games. It's just that 1 win away at Southampton, surrounded by 4 defeats. I'll get your thoughts on that in a second. Brentford were on the attack there, but Tony just robbed of the ball at the edge of the area. Watford now trying to play out from the back, but just not enough of an improvement really under Roy Hodgson so far, and it looks like it might just be a little bit too little too late.
Yeah, I think it is. I think it's getting down to that point now where you do sort of look at the teams who are down there and think, out of them realistically who could survive, and I think Watford isn't one of those sides. I think Burnley are the only side really now that you'd look at and think they've got half a chance of survival with their game to
I would have agreed with you 100% before yesterday, when they, for inexplicable reasons, got rid of Sean Dyche. Football statos as they are, great, always great to get those stats on Twitter. I saw one which said that over the last 10 transfer windows, Burnley's average spend has been 2.1 million. So to keep them in the Premier League for as long as he has done is already miraculous. I'm not really sure what the board are expecting from the new manager now.
No, I think it's a crazy decision, especially this late on. I'm not really sure who else they could bring in that you'd prefer to do a better job than Sean Dyche. I think he knows the team, he knows the players. And I think if there's any chance of them surviving, it would be under Dyche.
I think so as well. I'm not sure that certainly the rumours talking about Big Sam potentially. I'm not sure that he's certainly going to get more out of a squad that Sean Dyche has built over the past 6 or 7 years. But now a chance here for Watford to break out. Emmanuel Dennis just been caught there by Kristofer Ajer. Norwegian international claiming there wasn't anything wrong with that. I think he's just trying to go after the ball, saying he wants to take a throw on. But looking at this, as Dennis turns, just has his foot taken. I didn't think there was that much contact, actually, thinking about it, but certainly from Dennis's reaction it seemed like it was quite a strong foul, and he's still not happy there. No,
I'm not really sure why he's gone down there. I think there's not really anything in that for me. I don't think that's even a foul. I think, he turns away from Ajer well and tries to skip away. I think he realises his first touch wasn't the best, so he goes down and claims the free kick, and he's got what he wanted.
Absolutely. Watford take it short, but Brentford pressing it, trying to win it back right in the corner. It's just about kept in play. Kuchka now having to back the ball towards Samir, who clears it up to the halfway line, but that eludes João Pedro. Just to say, we have got an early goal in the 3 o'clock kickoffs on 7 minutes at Old Trafford. Manchester United lead against Norwich, and it's Cristiano Ronaldo with the goal. Rumours that it's going to be Erik ten Hag to take over at Old Trafford, and he's already rumoured to have said that he doesn't want Ronaldo in his team. So it's going to get interesting in the summer at Carrington, I think.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a massive year in their future, really. I think if they bring in Ten Hag, they have to give him the freedom to do what he wants and build the team that he likes. They can't be playing around in the transfer window anymore, signing big names without any real thought for the team. I think that's what they've been doing for the last few seasons, and they have to give Ten Hag the freedom to build a team that he wants, and they have to give him time as well. That's the main thing.
Absolutely, that's the thing, isn't it? If it's not gone well after a year or two, do you sort of start again, or do you stick with them? I suppose they'll wait to see what sort of progress they make. But Brentford trying to make some progress down the left-hand side. The ball now with Norgaard, leaves it for Eriksson. He decides to go for goal, and it just goes away. Didn't have too much of a run-up, Eriksson, but he famously, even in his Tottenham days, he's someone who could get a lot of power into his shots without much of a run-up. And there, just looked up, saw an opportunity to shoot, and it wasn't too far away.
No, it wasn't, and it's poor defending from Watford to give him that much space. You know the sort of player that Eriksson is. You can't give him that sort of time on the edge of the box to line up a shot. We know he can curl them in from that distance, and they've got away with one there as it just drifted wide, but already the danger is starting to show for Watford, and the cracks are starting to show as well.
Well, the problem I think for Watford is they're the home side, and they haven't really had any sort of home side possession, if that makes sense. They've not really sort of bedded down in midfield and started dictating the tempo themselves, and now they're trying to go long here with a bouncing ball towards the edge of the area, and Pontus Jansson has to put some sort of challenge in. He doesn't trust himself to just block Ismail Assar, who's a very quick and tricky sort of player, and Pontus Jansson in the end just happy to concede a corner.
Yeah, really good play there from Saar. We know how dangerous he is in and around the box. You can't commit to a challenge because he will draw a foul out of you, and next thing you know, you've conceded a penalty. But Janssen did enough in the end. I think it looked a little bit cautious for my liking. I think I would have rather see him just clear the ball away, but nonetheless, they've got a good corner here, Watford.
They do, and it's Imran Louser standing over it, whips in towards that near post. Good strong header away by Norgaard. A second ball coming in, and if anything, a couple of Watford players just left that. The strike was coming in. I think that was from Musa Sissoko. But what was interesting was, I don't know if the Watford players felt they might have been offside. They may well have been offside, actually. There, I think it was Ismail Assar who was closest to it. But in theory, he could have still stuck a foot out and got on the end of that as well. Yeah,
Ismail Assar leaves it. I think it goes over Kuchko, who tries to flick it on there. But Assar realises he's offside, leaves it. But I thought a Brentford player could have really got to that. It was a really tame effort there from Sissoko. It sort of rolled for what seemed like an age.
It almost looked like a through ball in the end, really, didn't it? Rather than a shot there from Sissoko. But Brentford give it away at midfield, and here's Kristofer Ajer now down the right hand side. There's a lovely 1-2 with João Pedro, and then across towards the front post, headed over the bar by Ismail Assar. I think he just mistimed his jump to that one a little bit and ends up sort of heading underneath the ball, whereas if he'd attacked that, I think that was a really good chance.
Yeah, he's not known for his aerial ability, is he, Ismail Assar? But he sort of just gets under it too much. You can see he's got his head down, looking like he wants to nod it towards the ground as he hits it, but it just bounces off the top of his head, and it was always going over. It was quite easy there in the end for David Raya to see over.
Yeah, no problems there for Raya with that one. A header a long way over the bar. 11 minutes gone. It's still goalless here at Vicarage Road, as it is at St Mary's with Southampton and Arsenal. But an early lead for Manchester United against Norwich City, as Rico Henry plays a very risky ball into midfield. That eludes Christian Eriksen. But having said that, though, just as much of a poor ball there really from Ismail Assar, who tried to start a quick move there for Watford, but his pass goes straight down the right-hand side and out for a goal kick.
Yeah, even though Watford are enjoying a little spell of attacking here, I think Brentford still look the more controlled out the two sides. Watford really not able to use the possession that they're having in the short amounts that they're having it. I think they're not really controlling their tempo. They're being wasteful when they're going forward, but here they come once again. Yeah,
Brentford, that's their third time in a row that the Bees have given it away inside their own half, but they win it back here straight away. Ball now played forward to Mbumo. He couldn't control it because Kuchka was just behind him. It goes out for a throw to Brentford, taken quickly, and now it's Norgaard trying to flick it on towards the advancing Janelt, but that one is straight back to Ismail Assar, and here come Watford now with Assar going through the middle. Spots Kuchka just coming over towards the left-hand side, heading towards the penalty area now. Kuchka to João Pedro. Back into midfield now for Imran Louser. And Kamara joining this attack as well, as Watford looking to try and get forward again. It's Louser, one touch there from Assar towards João Pedro. He hits the deck at the edge of there. Referee Simon Hooper telling him to get up. No free kick given. And then a long clearance from Brentford down the right-hand side, but that won't reach Mbumo. And now all of a sudden it's Brentford who are struggling to get hold of the ball.
Yeah, I think the tides have switched. Brentford are just backing off, allowing Watford to control the possession at the back, which is a blessing in disguise for Watford. It really means that they're allowed to now play with the ball at their feet for a little bit, get a feel for the ball, and try and work it around this Brentford side who have just dropped a little bit deeper. They're inviting the pressure, which they need to switch that up, because the more pressure they do invite, I think the easier it will be for that dangerous front three of Watford to get in behind.
Absolutely, and Brentford have been famous for their defensive organisation this season, that's for sure. Conceding some pretty poor goals. Again, over the season you probably find every team that does that, but Brentford really have been a little bit exposed in some of the games, and now they're having to just do a little bit more defending here. A throw on to Watford down the right hand side. Kristofer Ajer going back towards Christian Cabaselli. Now it's with the Brazilian Samir back to Cabaselli. It's all on the halfway line for Watford now. But what I mentioned, after about 5-6 minutes, they haven't really bedded down in this game. They certainly have now. They're a lot more comfortable on the ball, are the Hornets, as now Kamara goes inside towards Sissoko. Back now towards Samir. Tries a long ball to look for Manuel Dennis. Good strong header away, though, by Pontus Jansson. Was that kept in play by Mbumo? It was. And now a long ball fired down the right-hand side here. One for Tony to chase, but Cabaselli gets there first. It's out for a throw to Brentford down the right-hand side. I think Tony thought about taking it quickly, but Brentford have got a couple of long throw specialists in Ajer and in Pinnock, so it may well be they try and turn this almost into a set piece now. Yeah,
we see Brentford do it a lot when they get a throw in sort of in line with the penalty area. They they like to throw big bodies into the area and get a long throw, and it is almost like a second set piece. It's almost like a corner for them, so they utilise that quite well.
Absolutely, yes. Rory Delap was the trailblazer of the long throw for Stoke City back in the day, but it's certainly been developed since then. As a long throw now from Pinnock towards the edge of the 6-yard box. It drops and Brentford take the lead on 15 minutes, and it's Christian Norgaard that tucks the ball in from close range. It was a long throw from Pinnock, flicks on, and it turns out to be just like a set piece. Brentford take the lead after a good spell from Watford.
Well, I think I better put the lottery numbers on this evening, as just mentioned how it's almost like a set piece. It really works in their favour. They throw the big bodies into the box. I think it's Pontus Jansson, the captain, who wins the first flick on it. It's poor defending from Watford. They don't clear their lines easy enough. It's so easy for Christian Norgaard to latch onto the end of it, tucks away home. It's a cool and calm finish, but you just see a replay. It is Pontus Jansson who wins the first flick, and in the end, really good for Christian Norgaard to finish off.
I'll tell you what, Janssen's jumping for. I'm just wondering if it might even get a flick off Kuchka, in fact, as it reaches Norgaard. But he's in exactly the right position. And, of course, the one advantage of a throw-on in that sort of sense is that you can't obviously be offside from a throw, so you can just mess around a little bit with your positioning inside the penalty area. If you've got someone like Pinnock who can launch it straight towards the edge of the 6-yard box, can prove to be a very useful weapon, and it certainly proved to be the case here, because Brentford were a little bit up against it really in the 5-6 minutes before that goal was scored. And now this is a real test of Roy Hodgson's side, because they were just starting to grow into the game. They've conceded now, and they've really got to try and sort of respond as quickly as possible.
Yeah, only managing to keep 3 clean sheets this season. Watford, it's a poor record, and it shows in their results, but since coming in, Hodgson has sort of shored up the defensive side. I think they were conceding goals left, right and centre before he came in, as Brentford just get an attack here.
Yeah, they do. It's Eriksson that finds Visser. Visser trying an effort from the left-hand edge of the penalty area, curls that one straight into the arms of Foster. Didn't have to. He could have looked for Tony and for Mbuma, who are waiting inside the box as well. But Visser enjoying a few starts now for Brentford, having come off the bench to score some memorable goals, including away at Chelsea, away at West Ham, and in that 3-3 draw back in September at home to Liverpool as well. So he's been given a chance to actually start in the team. But it's Watford now going forward here with João Pedro. He does well initially to get away from Rico Henry, just having to hold the ball up now and play it all the way back into his own half. That's a bit of a shame really. Watford had worked quite hard to get to the Brentford penalty area. Cabaselli now going back towards Ben Foster. Bench for Watford this afternoon. They've got Ford, Cathcart, Cleverley, Kayambe, Etebo, Gosling and Gakia King, and the goalkeeper Bachmann. As for Brentford, it's Fosu, Godos, Stevens, Rasmussen, Sorensen, Jensen, Baptiste, De Silva, and goalkeeper Alvaro Fernandez. But certainly Roy Hodgson may be thinking about somebody like Ngakia or King at half-time, maybe just to try and spark this attack into life, particularly if Watford are going to struggle like they just did there. Ismaili Assar initially did well, but then found himself quite isolated. Ivan Toney now back at the edge of his own box, clearing his lines, but it's held up here by Lauser. Back towards Cabaselli. And Lauser now trying a good ball. It's a great ball as well to pick out João Pedro. He has Ismaili Assar on the overlap. His cross charged down by Henry. It drops back to João Pedro, who takes control and then volleys that one, but it's a long way over the bar. I can see why he did it, because it was inviting him to take a shot. But I just wonder maybe if he could have thought about the pass as well. Yeah,
I think you can't really have any qualms about him hitting that from there. I mean, it set up nicely for him, but I was just going to say, previous to that, I think it was a really nice ball into his feet, and then he took all the sting out of the attack by laying it off to Ismail Assar in the way he did. I think it was a poor pass. All he had to do was lay it sort of closer to the byline. They could have really got a ball into the area, but he laid it off sort of right to his feet, and it just took all the momentum out of the attack.
It did. The momentum taken out of the game now momentarily, as Ethan Pinnock has just hit the deck. And he looks a little bit uncomfortable there, and a bit of a signal from that Brentford physio over towards the bench. This may well be an early substitution here for the Bees. It looks like it's going to be Mads Bech Sorensen to come on, who wouldn't necessarily think of him as an out-and-out centre-back, but he can play in that position if required. And certainly Pinnock is being checked over, but they do seem to be getting ready to make a substitution here, Brentford. Hard to see exactly what happened to Pinnock there, really. Yeah,
I couldn't really see. I think we'll have to have another replay maybe, but they do have options. They've got versatility along the back line, and Kristofer Ajer can also play at the back. So they've got that option if they do want to move Ajer into the middle, or however they play it. But yeah, it's a strange one. He wasn't really under any sort of pressure, so I think it may be some sort of pulley. He looks like he's walking bad on his right leg.
Yeah, well, he's just turned to applaud the away end, so it looks like he knows that he's going off the field now. Pinnock, you could say that he had the assist for the goal with that long throw as well. So it's certainly a bit of a shame for him, the former Barnsley man who really has sort of grown as a defender, just as Brentford have grown as a team. But Pinnock now, who's since recently become a Jamaica international as well, off the field now, and it is going to be Mads Beck Sorensen to replace him. So we'll have to wait and see whether Sorensen goes straight into that centre-back. Well, I mean, he certainly could do. It's not like he's never played there. It's just I always think of him more as a wide defender, really. But he's going to potentially, as Harry mentioned, it could be a case that Sorensen goes to the right. Ajer will then play through the middle. But for the time being, it looks like he has positioned himself in that central role. Pinnock off the field and straight down the tunnel as well, so he's going to be getting some extra treatment. The ball is back in play. We'll have an extra couple of minutes of injury time, you'd imagine. 21 minutes on the clock. It is Watford 0, Brentford 1. A goal coming on 15 minutes with Christian Norgaard finishing from close range after a long throw from Pinnock was headed on by Ajer. Throw on to Brentford now down the left. And a long throw now from Henry, headed on by Ismail Assad, then drops to Eriksson, who tries an outside of the boot pass to try and pick out Brian Mbeumo. Would have been a fantastic ball if it had reached Mbeumo, but it's just a little bit too short, picked off in the end by Kuchka. And now Ben Foster thought about short ball. Too many Brentford players in and around his area. Clears it long up to the halfway line where Ajer takes the first touch, but then couldn't do anything to control it. Pontus Jansson then steps up and wins the ball back for Brentford. He then plays a good ball down the right-hand side, and Mbeumo thought he'd done enough to get away from Samir, but there was a good covering there from Juraj Kuchka. The ball now back on the halfway line with Mads Beck Sorensen. Over to Jansson on the right-hand side. Up to Ivan Toney, who tried to turn away from Samir. Wasn't able to do it, though. And now it's with Kuchka. Just flicks the ball forward. And there's some space here now for João Pedro. Getting towards the edge of the area. Stands at the edge of the box. Waits for some support. And here comes the support now in the form of Dennis. But he couldn't get across it, so goes back to Kuchka. Kuchka tries an effort from 25 yards, which ends up swerving a long way wide.
Yeah, you can't have any problems, can you? If you're Roy Hodgson there, you want your players to shoot. You're 1-0 down at home. I think efforts from range might be the only saving grace of this Watford side so far. They haven't really enjoyed much time in and around the penalty area. So I think if you see one of those bobble in from range, you can't ask any questions. So you can't blame them for having a go.
No, absolutely not. I think that they tried a couple of times to get into the box there. Watford didn't find any easy route to goal. Brentford insisting on playing out from the back. There was still plenty of Watford players pressing. And now the Bees having to go back towards goalkeeper David Raya again. Is Sorensen. Finds a ball out towards Rico Henry. Then he carries on down the left-hand side with the ball towards Johan Visser. Visser now at the edge of the area. Plays it square to Toney. Toney takes it on the run, but he couldn't quite get it into the box. And then Visser hits the deck inside the penalty area. I don't think there was ever any question of that being a foul, though. And Cabaselli now finds João Pedro on the halfway line. He's got runners ahead of him, João Pedro, but he dawdles on the ball. Fair play to João Pedro that he at least wins his side a free kick. But really, he should have played that ball a little bit earlier, I think. You
need to see that ball going out as soon as possible. The game really started to open up there. Brentford weren't in the best of position defensively. They had a man, I think it was Ismail Assar, making a run on the right-hand side. He was in acres of space, and João Pedro just hanging with the ball at his feet, gets dispossessed. He won a free kick in the end, but it just allows Brentford to drop back into position.
Yeah, the counter-attack, the speed of that last attack is completely gone, but we're at the halfway point. In fact, we're past the halfway point in this first half. It is Watford 0, Brentford 1, and it will be Harry to take us through to half-time.
Yeah, Watford enjoying some possession at the back for the first time in a while now, as Brentford looked to put them under pressure, and in the end Visser does really well to put Femenia under pressure there, as it just ricochets off the winger's boot. It's gone out for a throw on the far side. It will be Imran Louser with the ball in hand. He's giving it to Femenia in the end, actually, who takes it. Femenia throws it down the line, headed down by Pedro. Tries a second ball, looking for Ismail Assar, but Mads Beck Sorensen will claim that one. It will be another throw-in, but for the away side this time on the far side. Sorensen with the ball in hand. Jansson just giving him a few choice words, a few words of encouragement, maybe some words on his positioning. The fact that he's just come into the field may maybe you wanted to have a word with him and just.
Well, I think the trouble is Brentford have got a reputation for time wasting, which I think is a little bit unfair in so much that I don't think there's a team in the league that doesn't waste a bit of time when it comes to having a lead and taking throw-ons and goal kicks and the like. But to be doing it in the 25th minute, the fact that it took a bit of a committee decision to decide how that throw-on was going to be taken, you can see why the Watford players were just starting to get a little bit frustrated there.
Yeah, as Rico Henry once again takes another throw-in on the far side. He receives the ball back and still making inroads down the line until he's dispossessed by Lauser. Throw-in taken quickly by Ivan Toney. Almost falls down to Visser, but Christian Cabaselli gets there first, sends a long ball met by the feet of Musa Sissoko. And now Femenia tries another one down the line, and Watford really trying to just get the ball away from their own half here, but to no luck.
No, well, this is ironic. Brentford were criticised for not taking the throw on quickly enough last time. Now they've taken it almost immediately, but they've taken it from about 15 yards away from where it was supposed to have been taken. So referee Simon Hooper just asking them to take it again. And here they come now down the left-hand side.
Yeah, really good play there as Rigo Henry tries to send the ball into the area. That one was cleared just about by Christian Cabaselli. They take the throw in quickly once again, Brentford. They're happy to keep the pressure up. It's back with Henry. Really battling there with Musa Sissoko, and in the end Sissoko penalised. Gives Henry a little kick while he's on the floor there. It's a bit of a naughty one there from Musa Sissoko, having a word from Hooper.
Yeah, well, it's always been part of his game, the physicality, isn't it, Musa Sissoko? You wouldn't want him to change that completely. It's just a case of always reining it in. But this is a sort of range where a good ball from Eriksson can cause some problems here for Watford.
Yeah, so dangerous from a set piece as Christian Eriksen. So on the far side, probably about 40 yards away, right by the touchline, and he takes it quickly once again and goes short. Ball back to Janelt, who puts the second ball in. It's picked up. It's a poor ball into the area. Now Watford are looking to counter-attack here. Emmanuel Dennis making inroads, but he's brought to ground. Picked up by Visser. Goes all the way back to the goalkeeper David Raya, and Brentford just stinging that Watford counter-attack, not allowing them any time on the ball. As
well, no, they didn't allow any time on the ball, but I'm a bit frustrated with 2 free kicks now from Brentford, where Eriksen's taken them both short, when really he's the reason he's in the team, part of the reason he's in this team, to take the set pieces. So it seemed like it was an ideal position for him over on the left, get a whip ball into the box, but he preferred to take it short to Janelt, whose cross ultimately was very disappointing.
Yeah, the aerial presence of Brentford, you'd expect set pieces to be an area they'd look to threaten the Watford goal as much as they can. I mean, they did it with the throw-in, which was corner-esque, you could say, but from that set piece and the first one, they've gone short both times, which is a strange decision. However, must be something that they've worked on their training ground, as Watford once again allowing a little bit of possession inside their own half. Cabaselli goes all the way back to Ben Foster. He's looking to push his team forward down the pitch. He wants a long ball, and that's a poor one from Foster, but luckily for him it fell right to the feet of Musa Sissoko. He's battling in the middle, and then it's picked up by Imran Lauser. Taken off him once again by Mbumo. Tackled there from Lauser. Mbumo goes down. Referee blows for the free kick against Imran Lauser. Another chance.
Didn't see there was too much in that. We'll see from this replay. Yeah, he went for the ball, in fairness to him, Lauser, but he just missed the ball and did actually clip the foot there of Brian Mbumo. So a free kick to Brentford now. Roy Hodgson struggling with the sun. He might have to get himself a baseball cap at half-time.
He's out on the touchline. The waistcoat is off as the free kick does travel into the area. Visser goes down. He's claiming a foul, but I don't think there was too much in it there from Kiko Femenia.
No, I mean, as I say, it's not a penalty. Let's say that straight away. It was outside the box anyway, so certainly no need for VAR to get involved. I'd have to see it again, but it didn't seem like there was much contact with Femenia and Visser. Here come Watford now with Ismail Assar.
Ismail Assar with the first time ball in the area. Emmanuel Dennis was lurking, looking to get on the end of it, but just ahead of the Nigerian, and it will fall into the hands of David Raya. But brighter signs from Watford, creating more chances down that right hand side. Ismail Assar being the main outlet for them this afternoon. Dennis has had a quiet game so far, but they're back in possession again with Lauser. Goes in towards the feet of João Pedro, receives it back off the striker. Hassan Kamara back into Lauser. Brentford just pushing this Watford side back inside their own half. Cabaselli now out wide to Femenia, under pressure from Visser, turns inside Femenia, goes back towards Samir, and now Ben Foster looks to chip a nice ball out wide towards Kamara. In the end, it was poor. It rolled out for a throw-in. Kamara did the best he could. Janelt with the ball in hand, looking to take the throw-in, but Brentford just taking their time once again.
They are, and the problem for Watford is that that little spell just before they conceded was their best spell in the game, and since Brentford have scored, I wouldn't say that Watford have given up, because they certainly haven't given up. There's still plenty of energy around the pitch for the home side, but they're just once again lacking that little bit of midfielder fluidity that they had just before Brentford scored. It's almost like we're watching the sort of first 5 to 10 minutes again.
Yeah, Kristofer Ajer once again taking the throw. Looks for a fairly long one, but cleared away by Watford. Picked up in the middle once again by Christian Eriksen. Goes out wide towards Ivan Toney. Receives it back once again in the box by Rico Henry. Almost finds Mbeumo at the back post, but goes over everybody's head. And Mbeumo showing praise to his teammate for the nice ball, but it will roll out for a goal kick.
I think it might have just got a flick of the defender just as Mbeumo was challenging for it. To wait and see, but I think the referee may have given a corner in the end.
Yeah, it seems like the players are crowding the area, so could well be another chance for Brentford.
There wasn't much in that, though, in fairness. I mean, the touch seemed pretty small, but Eriksen's coming across to take this corner. And nice to see that a few Watford fans are giving him a round of applause as well. Of course, he is, after what happened last summer, there is still this great feeling that he is back on a football field. Yeah,
it's a real miracle that he's back at the top level performing the way he is, and now he has a chance to deliver a corner into the area. Yeah, right-footed out-swinging ball from Eriksen. Lots of bodies in the box for Brentford. Headed down by Pontus Jansson. It's fallen on the edge of the box. It's a shot in, but it looked a lot better than what it was in the end.
Well, it was an interesting sort of corner. I think it was intentional here from Eriksen to lift it and get it along that line. It swerves a little bit as well. Pontus Jansson heads it back, and Vitaly Janelt, I mean, I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt and say that he was trying to fire a pass to Ivan Toney, who just couldn't quite get on the end of it. But something tells me that the German midfielder was shooting there himself, and he just got it all wrong.
Yeah, it looked as if it would have been a nice effort at first glance, but the ball kept on travelling outwards, rolled all the way out for a throw on this near side, and it's taken quickly by Watford. Ball's made its way all the way towards the halfway line, but picked up by Pontus Jansson on the touchline. He throws it in the direction of Kristofer Ajer. He looks to send another long throw, looking for the target man, Ivan Toney maybe. Takes his time with it here, Ajer, and in the end he does look for Toney down the line. It's cleared away by Samir. Only as far as another throw-in. A real sequence of throw-ins in the last 5 minutes. Neither side really able to keep the ball in between the white lines. But it will be a throw in favour of Brentford, even further down the touchline this time, so they're making inroads on this Watford side. Once again with the ball in hand, throws in towards Ivan Toney, leaves it off for Christian Eriksen, who looks to have a shot from range and almost spilt there by Ben Foster, but did well in the end to smuggle it away from the oncoming Ivan Toney.
Yeah, just not quite enough angle on this one from Eriksen. It was always pretty much heading straight down the middle, as you say, just maybe a little bit just bouncing or just dropping in front of Ben Foster. Does well to actually watch it in, and then as it hits off his knees, he makes sure he dives on any potential rebound. Just to let you know that Ronaldo has his second goal of the afternoon at Old Trafford. 33 minutes gone there, and it's Manchester United 2, Norwich City 0.
Yeah, if there's one positive Roy Hodgson can take from today, it would be that Norwich are also down in their match, but it seems like that would be Norwich's season wrapped up as it stands, as it will be a serious task for them and even Watford in this game to really make a charge on safety. Everton with games in hand on both sides. Be a real great escape if both sides or either side managed to do it.
Absolutely. Just to remind you as well that the FA Cup semi-final has just got underway in the last 3 or 4 minutes. That game's also available on our service. Just a small matter of Man City against Liverpool.
Well, I think there'll be no questions about the scale of that game. I mean, it was only last week when the two sides met, but nonetheless, it will still have all the appeal that it had first time around. Ball into the box, cleared away by Sorensen. Tried to flick it on there, Eriksen. Didn't manage to do so, and it's fallen to Femenia. Down the line towards Sarr. Tries to backheel it in towards the direction of Moussa Sissoko. In the end, he receives it back, fortunately. And now with Femenia. Back in field to Kuchka. Trying to turn away there from the oncoming Vitaly Janelt, but now it's with Sissoko. And Sarr once again. So trying to make work on this Brentford side, but they're doing well to hold off this possession from Watford. It's fallen to Lauser, who tries an effort from a audacious angle, but that was blocked. Kamara back to Lauser once again. Kamara receives it, tries the ball into the box. Almost falls down nicely for Dennis. Dennis still with the ball, but it was headed away in favour of Watford, so the pressure will remain on this Brentford side. Kamara with the ball in hand, looking to take. He's pushing his side into the box. I think he wants to send a longer throw into the area, but in the end, it's a short one towards Imran Lauser. And that's poor there from Watford as they are dispossessed, and Wimmu tries to skip away from Kuchka. He's tackled. The ball will go out for another throw, and the last 10 minutes or so, the game's had a bit more of a scrappy feel to it. Neither side really able to show much quality.
Absolutely, yeah. I think that's boiled down to the fact that Watford are just trying to be a little bit more steely in midfield, not allowing Brentford to get through as easily. But at the same time, Watford just haven't been able to generate their own attack. They had a little bit of possession there down the left, got towards the edge of the area, but never really looked close to getting the ball into the box. But they've just won it back in midfield now, and they may have half a chance here down the left with Kuchka.
Yeah, 35 minutes played at Vicarage Road. Scoreline still reads 1-0 in favour of the away side. Something that Roy Hodgson's side have been accustomed to when playing at home, but ball delivered into the area by Femenia, blocked by Rico Henry. Back with Femenia, the danger's not cleared just yet. He's backpedaling all the way towards his own half, but they're still in possession here with Musa Sissoko. It's really good defending in the end from Brentford, but the clearance can only find Femenia once again. They're keeping up this relentless pressure here, Watford, but once again wasteful in attack, and they're dispossessed. And Christian Eriksen now looking to unlock Ivan Toney down the left hand side. He does find him. Toney had a real lack of support there, had to go all the way back to Rico Henry once again, and Brentford will look to rebuild from the back once again. Janssen moving forward towards the halfway line, lays it off short towards Ajer, down the line to Mbeumo, receives it back, Kristofer Ajer. He's had to go all the way back to the goalkeeper as Watford do well in defence and push this Brentford side back. Not really giving them a sniff in the match so far, apart from the goal that they scored, Brentford. And switch ball looking for Mbeumo once again, cleared by Kamara. Now Kuchka dispossessed by Ajer. And Mbeumo now goes for an effort from range there. And it was blocked on the first line of defence. And now Dennis backed into a corner, trying to skip away. Does really well there, Emmanuel Dennis. Plays a nice 1-2 with Kuchka, and he's still going, Dennis, here, making inroads in field. Referee gives advantage. A slight tug there from Norgaard. Almost receives it back, Dennis. It was a poor pass from Musa Sissoko, and now Brentford back on the front foot. It's with Visser. Visser goes for an effort from range. It's blocked there, and it will roll out for a corner, so another good opportunity for Brentford.
It is. I mean, I'm thinking whether I should criticise Visser for shooting there, but it's similar to the situation we saw with Kuchka before, where Brentford were building up a quick attack, and Visser looks up. He could have tried to play the ball through towards Ivan Toney, but in fairness, there were two Watford players tracking back into the penalty area. So I say consolation prize here for Brentford with this corner kick.
Yeah, good opportunity to get the ball into the box. Once again, I'm sure it'll be Christian Eriksen who takes the corner. It is Eriksen. A lot of options in and around the area. Brentford not shy of aerial presence in the box. Ajer with three men crowded around him. Eriksen one arm into the air. He delivers the ball. It's a nice one towards the back post, and Mbeumo leaves it in the end for Visser. Goes for the effort. It's blocked, and then almost rolls out for another corner, but it's kept in well. The referee.
Well, has it been kept? As to say, I think it was one of those where Pontus Jansson was right on the line. He had his arm up to appeal. The linesman is on that same right-hand side, so it does give the official just that little bit of a closer view. We'll see from this angle ourselves now. After Visser's strike, it is going out for a corner. Pontus Jansson. Oh, yeah. I mean, it's not ideal, the angle, but I think that it probably was all over the line. So with about 6 minutes to go, Brentford have another corner kick, this time from the right-hand side. It
is Christian Eriksen who runs over to take the corner once again. Out-swinging right-footed ball, looking for Toney, who was arriving. Hit first time by Visser. Ivan Toney helps it on once again. Danger isn't dealt with just yet, and a audacious volley attempt from the edge of the box from Janelt, similar to his one from the last corner on that side. It was high, wide and handsome. It was never going to test the goalkeeper, but another shot once again.
Well, he was Brentford's two-goal hero at Stamford Bridge a couple of weeks ago. He's a natural left-footer that dropped onto his left foot, but leaning back and slicing that one a long way over in the end Can tell you that there's an early goal at Wembley, and it's Manchester City 0, Liverpool 1. Just to confirm the goal scorer in just a moment, but it's Liverpool with the early lead.
Massive goal at Wembley between the two sides, and as it stands, Liverpool still on for the quadruple. So what a season that would be for Jurgen Klopp's men. Still in shouts for the Premier League. They're still in this competition. The Champions League is something that they'll be looking to bring back to Anfield.
Still got a great chance with that. Ibrahima Konate it was, by the way, that gives Liverpool the lead in that game.
Massive goal for the defender who's been slightly out of favour with the run of form that Joel Matip is in. Been a fantastic player this season, Matip, for Liverpool. Been a rock at the back alongside Van Dijk, but Konate making a shout to maybe claim that he deserves that spot next to Virgil van Dijk. Anyway, long ball forward from Watford, headed back towards David Raya from Sorensen, and then gets the game back underway very quickly there. Raya finds Henry back in field to Eriksson, who's dropped quite deep to receive the ball, and a poor ball there from Sorensen, almost dispossessed, but fortuitously it's fallen towards Visser, who's making inroads downfield. Tries to feed the ball out towards Rico Henry. It's a poor pass from Johan Visser. A roll out of play for a throw on the far side. Kicker for many with the ball in hand. 41 minutes almost played at Vicarage Road. It's still 1-0. The goal from Norgaard was enough to settle the two sides up until this point, and since then the chances have come very far and few between.
They have. I mean, that goes for Brentford just as much as Watford, although Brentford, in fairness, have had little spells where they've actually got the ball into the box. A couple of efforts that have been charged down, a couple of efforts that have gone wide. Watford themselves, only really a couple of speculative efforts from a long way out. The problem for Watford's been the same since the start of the game. They've struggled to get that build-up of possession to actually get the ball into the box, as Juraj Kucka is brought down at the edge of his own box. Brentford were looking to counter-attack, having won the ball back, but referee Simon Hooper decided that there was a foul.
Yeah, it was smart from Kucka there. He realised he'd been dispossessed and thought if he initiated the contact, he'd win his side a free kick, and that's what he got. He went into Christian Eriksen. He knew that he was going to have the ball nicked away from his feet. Just stop that counter-attack right in its tracks as Ben Foster's angrily screaming at his side, wants them to get forward and try and claw back something from this first half. We're closing in on half-time, and they've had very few efforts, like we mentioned. Watford has been brought down there, Ismail Assar on the right-hand side by Rico Henry. They will have a free kick in a dangerous area, Watford. Yeah,
Rico Henry's a little bit unhappy with this, but I think as Ismail Assar is trying to get the ball through towards Dennis, I think the two of them may have switched sides for an attack. I mean, there is a push there from Rico Henry, but the question is as to whether or not it's enough to bring the man down. I don't think it matters in football anymore. Most pushes aren't enough to bring a grown man, especially a professional sportsman, down. It's just that players have learned to show that there's been contact.
Yeah, exactly. It's as soon as you feel the contact, they go down because they know only one thing can happen from it, and that thing has happened. Manuel Dennis has got what he wanted. He wanted the free kick, and they've got the chance to deliver a dangerous ball now for many. It allows the two players to stand over the set piece. They've thrown all the defenders into the area, Watford, and it is delivered by Femenia. It's a good ball in the end, and it's almost turned into his own goal there by Kristofer Ajer. Just about wide of the post, but that could have been panic stations for Brentford.
Well, that would have been a very strange own goal because Ajer was facing his own goal. So it's not like he didn't see where the ball was. He suddenly realised the ball was going to hit him. And then, I mean, he's already got his hand up almost to apologise for the own goal even before the ball's actually gone wide. But thankfully, for Brentford's point of view, just away for a corner, whipped in and then straight away headed back into midfield.
Yeah, Lauza leaves it off for Moussa Sissoko. Goes out wide. Finds Ismail Assar, who's out on the left-hand side, back into Kucka. He receives it back, Ismail Assar. Really good play there from Watford, and a massive tackle from Rico Henry to stop Sarr bounding in on goal, and it's gone out for a corner, but you think that's a goal-saving tackle.
It is excellent, that from Rico Henry. Bit clumsy in giving that free kick away a moment earlier, but here it backs himself, sees enough of the ball to slide in and win a clean challenge, which is always a big ask when you're doing it inside the penalty area.
Yeah, it is. Resulting in another corner, though, in favour of Watford. It's on this near side this time. It'll be an in-swinging right-footed ball. Delivered once again towards the back post and headed away. I think it came off in the end. Came off a Brentford player, but they haven't actually. It hasn't gone out. They've kept it in Watford because they want to keep this attack going. It's Kucka. Goes back towards Dennis. Delivered in by Sissoko, and that's a poor ball from Moussa Sissoko.
Yes, and far too close that one to David Raya, isn't it? Jan Bednarek has given Southampton the lead in the last minute of regulation time there at St Mary's. So Southampton 1, Arsenal 0. Arsenal, who have been getting all the plaudits up until around 3 or 4 weeks ago, just losing their form at precisely the wrong time.
Yeah, if they do manage to lose away at St Mary's today, that'd be their 3rd defeat in a row, which would be massive in terms of the race for top
especially
4.
when you think that Tottenham have lost today at home to Brighton, which I don't think many people would have expected. That would have been an extra incentive for Arsenal to try and make up a bit of the ground. As we're just waiting for our 4th official to see what number he's put up there. Can't quite see from the camera angle that we have, but confirmation now that we are going to get 2 minutes of injury time.
2 minutes of additional time after, most likely, from the Ethan Pinnock injury early on in the first half. Going down and suffering an injury to his leg. Meant that Sorensen had to come on and fill in very early doors. Probably wouldn't have expected to make an appearance that early on, but nonetheless they have a throw in on this near side. Brentford, it's once again in the hands of Ajer. Will he look to send another long throw? He does, and it's found Christian Eriksen in the middle of the park. He's trying to skip away from Ismaila Sarr. It's found itself to Henry on the far side. It's a nice delivery into the box to Brian Mbeumo, but can't quite get over the ball, and it's gone high, wide and handsome once again.
Yeah, I think even Mbeumo saw exactly where he was and how much space he had. I'm not sure he would have necessarily had to hit this first time. Just drops nicely for him. I suppose there is a defender just in front of him as well. Samir is just coming back, so maybe he felt as though he had to do something there. But it would have been such a difficult goal technique-wise to hit such a quick and low cross on the volley and still get it on target.
Yeah, Ben Foster with a long goal kick downfield, headed away by Sorensen. Danger's not cleared just yet, as in the end it does fall down to Norgaard, and now Mbeumo's got a charging run of Ajer overlapping him, but Mbeumo wants to go himself here and almost slots a cute ball in towards the feet of Norgaard. It's now with Emmanuel Dennis on this left-hand side. He's running like a train in field. Leaves it off for Moussa Sissoko. Will he go to hit it? No, he tries to find Sarr. Another wasteful pass from Moussa Sissoko. That's been 2nd or 3rd he's done today, but they're still moving forward here. Watford with Femenia. Delivers the ball into the box, almost headed by Pedro. Fallen to Lauser, who hits it first time, but that was a tame effort. It was never going to trouble David Raya from there.
No, I think he was worried so much about keeping that left-footed effort down that he never really got to the power behind it. You'd imagine that when Raya clears this long, that should be it for this first half. It is it for this first half at Vicarage Road. It is Watford 0, Brentford 1, with Norgaard scoring the goal on 15 minutes, and myself and Harry will be back for you in 15 minutes.